Hey, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back everyone, and welcome to the first look video for the Zhao, the legendary tier Japanese cruiser. This thing is a fire-breathing dragon, and it didn't take the cruiser main very long to get a fantastic replay for you guys. As always, stats and commander guide at the end of the video. Even after a few games, I already love this ship more than I thought I would. Now, of course, all new ships experience what I kind of call new ship syndrome. Whenever there's a new ship, everyone kind of likes it until they kind of, get into the play style. And I think this thing will fit very well, but even then, I still think I'm going to try and, start this Bureau project as soon as I can. The 12 203mm guns, as well as the complement of torpedoes, it is just a very dangerous package. Now, that being said, this ship is not invincible. Even in this game, we kind of show the armor scheme as well as the armor viewer at the end, and you do have a moderately large citadel. So, in order to get all of those guns on target, such as we're doing here, you will need to go broadside. Now, we actually get a little bit lucky with this Chad of a gearing player who sets us a smoke screen. But even then, if you know how to angle and kind of throttle jockey and play with the throttle, you can mitigate and actually attract a lot of damage in the open water. I think we attracted, our average damage is 1 million attracted, and we got 1.2 in our very first game and survived. So this ship can absolutely do what it needs to do, which is be a DPM monster and a little bit of a fire-breathing dragon. Now, commanders are going to change the fire chance just a little bit, and like I said, I will show you my commander setup. But a quick tip to all my battleship mains dealing with this ship, don't put out a single fire such as this Kurfürst did, as the very next salvo was an immediate double fire. I don't know how these players got to legendary tier putting out one fire, but one fire is not going to harm your boat. But you pop that damage con and get set on an immediate double fire, and yes, you are going to start hurting. Now, that being said, I know the battleship mains are going to go to the forums, they're going to be like, this is not what the game needs. Well, it actually is absolutely what the game needs. It needs variety at legendary tier. We have no shortage of battleships, as kind of indicated by the total number in this game, and most legendary tier games lack a good number of cruisers. Now, that being said, we all have those unique games, and I do think high destroyer games are absolutely, I think there should be a limit on the number of destroyers, as those games are very annoying. But this is a great ship, a great addition to the game. It's very strong. I need to play it a little bit more to see if it maybe needs adjusted. But like I said, if you can put yourself in a good spot and get those fires and get battleship mains to put them out, then yes, you will do fantastic in this thing. Again, just a final note to my battleship mains. I love you guys. You guys have seen me play a ton of battleships. They're a great class. I know it's a lot of fun seeing, big damage number. But make sure you're positioning well, right? If you're constantly getting fire spammed, I hate to break it to you, you're not a great player. So if you are suffering from this, now I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. It's happened to me. But make sure you're paying attention to your position, and when you can, right, shoot at the cruiser that is spamming you. Because if not, you will see we have actually ticked over the 100,000 damage mark in about 3.5 minutes here. So pay attention to your positioning, right? Don't just YOLO rush in, such as this Kurfürst and Conqueror did, and also don't put out a single fire. I believe that Conqueror had also put out a single fire, and now he is on a permanent fire. But as that flank is controlled, as we get the finishing touch on that Conqueror there and actually pop our first legendary bonus of the legendary reload mod, we are working our way back into the middle. A huge shout out to that gearing, as we probably get detected from the destroyer to our right, as the other gearing in the B cap was in his smoke screen there, but that gearing played very well. We did go ahead and throw some torpedoes. I'm not going to lie, these torpedoes are probably going to be hard to get a few hits on. You don't really want to be rushing battleships in this ship. We tried it in a few games, and like we mentioned, when you shoot at this thing, it only has a 25mm nose. So when you shoot at this thing with any battleship at legendary tier, you can overmatch it. So there's, like we mentioned, this ship is not invincible, but if you allow it to sit there and just breathe fire down your throat, you will definitely be hurting. Now, a few of you may be tempted to spam the HE and never even look at the AP, but the armor piercing on this boat is excellent as well. We have depth struck a few minos and gotten excellent broadside salvos on battleships from medium to long ranges. So, when applicable, use the AP on this boat as well, as can be said for most boats. But as you can see here, the HE is an excellent choice. You couple it with a decent commander. Now, we do not have AL Atago, which would probably be even more toxic, but we are running the AL Apigreco, one of those which I show at the end. which does give us a little bit better fire chance. So you're going to want to spec into fire chance. It's just the perk and the traits of these Japanese cruisers. We've played the Ibuki, we've played the Mogami, and again, when played correctly, these ships are fantastic DPM, just monsters, but they do lack a little utility. So a good way to counter them is to not fall into their DPM trap, right? Don't push them, don't allow them to kite out, but also destroyer players and even other cruiser players, put yourself in position to get those caps and don't allow this type of ship to put itself in a position to, kind of outrange you or, kite out. It is a very similar play style to the Henri, which we have showcased multiple times. The Henry, has since been in the game as we take our Witherer and High Caliber, so the anti-battleship metal, but the Henri has been in the game and has a very similar playstyle to the Zhao, so if you've been able to counter or deal with the Henri, then you should be able to deal with the Zhao as well. But I'm going to go ahead and let this video finish out. We had some audio changes, but most of you will probably enjoy that anyway. Make sure to pay attention to the AP salvos we use on these upcoming battleships, and I will actually see you guys at the end of the video for the stats and commander guide. But there you guys have it, a casual 224,623. But who's counting? Am I right? I actually forget to go over the XP screen. It was around 3,100. Not sure why it was a little low, but the damage does make up for it in this case. Witherer Confederate, and high caliber. But let's go ahead and look at the Commander's ARP Haguro, a fantastic choice if you did pick her up on the last Apigreco event. Yamamoto would work just fine all the same. This ship, it's really the ship, it's not the Commander, but this Commander does help. It does help like 1 or 2%, but your base trait, and that's part of the reason is her base trait there, it does add to your fire chance as well as your range. On top of that, we did choose Beyond Range as well as Igniter. The third perk is the extra HE damage, so that is one that is definitely going to help that Alpha Strike, which is just already good on the Zhao. But yeah, this Commander is definitely going to help the ship perform just a little bit better. But like we mentioned, Yamamoto, she will do just fine with Yamamoto. We'll probably play her with Yamamoto tonight. We're also running Steer Clear, and our inspirations are Azure Lane Baltimore and Mimbelli. I honestly might switch to Cunningham to help that turret traverse. It is a little bit slow, but those are the inspirations we had for this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at her stats. You guys saw the health. It was on screen in-game, but I will read it again for you guys. 44,900 with a 19% torpedo damage reduction. 203 4x3 of them, so 12 total, with a 17.4 firing range, a 10.6 reload, a 35-second traverse time, and a 22.9% fire chance. That is disgusting, and I can only imagine it would be even more gross with AL Atago. So the guns are definitely where the ship shines, as well as the AP is fantastic as well. So make sure you are choosing the appropriate ammo choice. Her torpedoes are pretty good as well, 4x5 of them, so 20 total, with an 11-kilometer range, a 67 knot speed, and a pretty good max damage there of 23,600-ish. The torpedoes also do match your concealment with a concealment module in the third slot, so just something to keep in mind. AA defense is actually decent for a Japanese cruiser, 82 overall. The long-range AA is what I've been told you really need to concern yourself with. Decent maneuverability, as most Japanese cruisers do, 35.5 top knot speed there, with a speed flag, so again, keep that in mind, and then an 11-kilometer concealment. Here are the modules. Aiming Systems Mod 1, Propulsion Mod, which is definitely what I would choose for that throttle jockey. Concealment Mod, to get you in nice and close, and then use that propulsion to get out of there. You could choose steering gears. I just don't think it's necessary. And then, of course, Reload Mod with the legendary Reload Mod in place of that. And then we actually have the Torpedo upgrade. It gives you extended range. I think it adds like 2 or 3 kilometers to your range. I would choose that, and that is a free upgrade. But let's go ahead and take a look at the armor viewer, kind of the balancing factor for the Zhao. As you can see, the massive 25mm nose, which can be overmatched by every battleship at legendary tier so far in the game, and a very weak belt there, as well as a deck. That 30mm can be overmatched by Yamato, Georgia even, of course, Musashi, and then I'm guessing Ohio whenever she does come in the game, probably in 8 years, but just keep that in mind. And there's the Citadel. So you can access it through the front if you overmatch that 25. It's going to be hard to hit, but still very easily accessible if you aim low enough. And that slight turtleback goes above the waterline so that you can hit the belt under the turtleback there, the Citadel belt, and still Citadel it very flat. So just make sure you're aiming low right at the waterline. And as you saw at the end of the game there with the shot from the Schlieffen, you can absolutely access that Citadel. So something to keep in mind, those mid-range shots are going to yeet this thing. But there's the Zhao, an epic cruiser. And we actually go over our statistics here. She is just disgusting. Like we said, this was our third game. 160,000 average damage, 3119 average XP, and 1 million attracted damage. So a truly gross ship. I hope Wargaming keeps her as is as we review our XP from the game, and like we mentioned. But that is the first look, guys. We have a host of games to show you, and of course she will be on stream tonight. I hope everyone has a fantastic Friday and a fantastic weekend. Love you guys. Aaron out. Peace.